Hello there, my friends, and welcome back to the Brightworks and another match of Beyond All Reason, where today we're going to be taking a look at a match that was recently played on Crystallized Plains. Is that the name of this map? Actually, I'm having a total mind fart. No, Hades Pond. Haha! Hades Pond version 1.1. And today, spawning as the blue team leader. It's going to be a commander that goes by the name of Hot Dog, a 41 open skill blue Armada commander. Going to be playing right here on the front lines. Well, it's basically all front lines. This is the only position that sometimes doesn't go front. It's debatable. It's going to be Hot Dog. 41 open skill is pretty high up there. Definitely getting into that pro level. The professional level, quote-unquote, has definitely creeped upwards slowly but very steadily. Nowadays, it's even, you know, maybe even 40. Maybe 40 isn't even high enough. Maybe it's closer to 50. 50 or 60. Much like, of course, our red team leader, Spooder Friend, the 67 open skill hero that's going to be showing us what some good old-fashioned Cortex bots look like. Actually, I don't know. We might go for vehicles here. We haven't chosen a tech path quite yet. We are just expanding very greedily forward here. 4 mechs, 1 solar, triple wind start right now for the red commander. I guess says, the odds that I'm up against another commander of equivalent or even comparable skill on the other side, not super high. I may as well go for a super greedy start. At least that's what it looks like to me here. As Spooder Friend has gone ahead and gone into good old-fashioned core bot lab here. Core bots definitely in a rough way from where they once were. The grunt not nearly as oppressive as it once was, and that definitely puts Cortex commanders in a bit of a pickle. But those T2 Cortex bots are still so powerful. The Twitcher being able to build landmines and set up a whole bunch of other stuff, and of course the Sheldon and the Mammoths being so useful as well. There's plenty of reasons to go Cortex. It's just a good time to go Armada too. Pincer, wow, rotating very slowly. Rovers here, trying to clean up the tick, moving across the map. There we go. Finally managed to clean up that tick aggression, but some rascals are now moving in. Win Isaac Win, the Maroon Commander, trying to clean all this up here. Armada vehicle player leaves you with not too many options for dealing with some of these faster moving units, actually. Rascals and Rovers, essentially one-to-one comparables. They cost a little bit different. I believe the Rascal is slightly less expensive. Not the end of the world, though. Definitely not the end of the world. Ultimately, defense is pretty much on par here. Oh, we've even got a mine layer, a trapper. Stealthy mine layer minesweeper here. These do have an attack, by the way. They will kill landmines. Oh, okay. Snorkelwhack now going to try and defend. Rover in the backline, more so just scouting and taking a little look around, trying to see exactly what it might be able to snipe here in the backline. Tim Adams, the Tan Commander, now watching as this gets ever closer. Blue team trying to aggress over here as well, but it looks like, ooh, okay, yeah, does manage to get a metal extractor. That's quite nice. Yeah, popping the metal extractor definitely feels quite good. Metal extractor in trouble over here as well. Bluecom needs to move that rover. Ooh, will not get it out in time. The mechs will stay up and running, and Tim Adams is going to feel fine about continuing to produce out to the front line. Altogether, no gigantic damage here done. Yeah, both teams defending really, really nicely. All right. Well, if it wasn't clear before, just looking at the OS and the chevron counts here, this is definitely going to be a higher skill lobby, so I'm very excited to see what goes on. Oh, well, isn't that cheeky? A sneaky, beaky, cheeky little pincer has been hidden in the pond very early into this game, no doubt intending to pop out later in the match and try and snipe some mexes, maybe pop some wind turbines, and maybe even some E-converters if we can find them. A lot of Armada commanders tending to favor those E-converter economies, at least into the mid-game there. I like this move. We'll have to wait and see if it'll pay off, if we catch it. Pincers are very sneaky. Trapper here going ahead and laying, not laying mines actually. We're going to be building Beholders, the perimeter cameras, which cost quite a bit of energy, at least in the early game. 850 energy. Almost the cost of 2 metal extractors to get one of those going, and of course, in the early game, every single piece of energy is very valuable. Wind turbines coming up right here for the Hot Pink Commander. Trying to find a way to produce enough energy to keep these, well, very energy-demanding structures and units online here. Incisors are available. It's time to start going for some light mines. Only 7 metal and 270 energy. Light mines are just dirt cheap. And they do quite a bit of damage, even against the incisors. Incisors, basically anything, quote-unquote, light. Oh. We've got some cheeky strategies going on here. I'll talk about that in a second. Light mines, basically anything light, anything fast. light mines are going to do pretty good against. As soon as you get into like medium tanks or higher, medium mines work pretty good. Medium mines are just kind of generally useful across the board. Heavy mines very specifically useful against that T3. They will obliterate any sort of T2, but very, very useful against that T3. Mechs does go down to these bots that are running around all over the place here, as the Orange Commander has decided to go ahead and go into an Amphibious lab. Now this is very cheeky here for the Seeker, but a strategically sound maneuver. Gonna go into the Amphibious lab and start producing some of these Salamander. Now, this is an interesting decision point here, because you can go for the Salamander, which are only 350 metal and 7,000 energy, or you can go into the Poison Arrows, which cost significantly more to build those. The question becomes, how many units do you want on the front line? And I think the Salamanders are the right choice, right? Because you're only ever going to get like 1 or 2 of those Poison Arrow out before this front line needs immediate support. Whereas it's going to be quite easy to get Salamanders out. And Salamanders have tons of HP. You can see 2,100 HP right here versus a medium tank's. Oh, this one's slightly damaged. Maybe we can find a healthier medium tank. This Riot tank, for instance, has 1,500. Where's a Brute? No Brutes on the front line. All right. Anyways, the Salamander has quite a lot of HP. It also does quite a big burst of damage. It is really quite nice. Medium ray amphibious tank. Medium heat ray tank. Absorbing those hits like it's nothing. My goodness, Aikatsu calling it very close here. 2% HP and rising. Aikatsu very, very low on HP right now. The Seafoam Green Commander trying to dip, dive, duck, dodge, and crawl their way out of this situation. Oh my goodness. If these bots land even a single shot here, boom goes the Commander. Nearly inevitable once your Commander gets that low. Anybody and everybody is going to be trying to kill it, and there we go. Spooner Friend manages to land the killing blow right here, landing a 1.5 or 1.25 thousand metal on the floor. Oh, Riot Tank, very nice actually. Yeah, 1 Riot Tank in the comp here just to scare back those grunts from jumping on top of the rocket bots is really, really nice. We've got the forward vehicle lab, so we rushed out that rushed out the single pounder anti-swarm tank. Now the Salamanders are using that amphibiosity to try and do some damage. I see the pincer moving, by the way. Metal Extractor has gone down right here as the pincer moves into the backline. Salamanders also finding some value here against the grunts, blasting away at those grunts with their little heat ray cannons. Eventually going to be flashed down here, though. Actually, not achieving as much as I think they probably hoped they could have. Little economy building in the backline right here. Meanwhile, red forces are bolstering as well. We do have more and more units rolling out of this. Oh, no, we sure don't. Red Commander instead, pivoting directly into T2. Alright. It's an aggressively timed T2 transition. Definitely at a killer moment, though, where the front line has effectively been won, and there's all the reclaim in the world to be had. Yeah, I like this quite a lot. Yeah, and you can see the Orange Commander funneling a bunch of metal here into the Red Commander here as well. Any of the metal that's not being used to make more of these Salamanders going directly into this T2 lab, and there is still 600 or so, 700 metal in the T1 Cortex vehicle lab. Salamanders plus Riot Tanks is actually a really interesting combo because the Salamander's heat ray gun can only fire in one direction, so once it starts firing, it has to keep firing in that direction. It means that when you impulse units, a lot of the times that heat ray cannon can be quite a bit more effective. The other interesting thing about heat weapons, just a little fun fact for you today, your daily Beyond All Reason fun fact for you, heat rays have significant damage fall off over range. So do lasers, but heat rays, it's even more prominent, I believe. I think it's about a 50% damage reduction over the total distance, so about halfway out you start to lose damage, and by the end of the radius there, at the very edge of that radius, you effectively are doing half damage, which is kind of interesting. It means that the Salamander has to be aggressive to get its full value, but it also means that the Salamander gets to be aggressive for that full value. It has almost a little bit of play to it in the sense that you can use it very aggressively and you're rewarded for that style of play, which, for my sake, for watching 100 of these games, I find it quite enjoyable. Yeah. Jim Botrin, the Powder Blue Commander here, does lose the laboratory, sending out D-guns and trying to shuttle this down, but there's just 2.5 commanders worth of economy built up right here. That Amphibious Lab has worked out phenomenally right now, as those Salamanders have been instrumental in taking down this front line. They have enough HP, they do enough damage, they're just all together going to be fabulous, and now that T2 is rolling out, we should start to see those T2 mechs coming up. Meanwhile, Southern side has been completely destroyed as well. Almost a direct parallel. Hot Dog and Films moving in on the southern side as it looks like the pink commander has been overwhelmed, as well as the cyan commander there. There's the yellow comm going down as well. Towns, Thyrexi, Hot Dog, and Films all moving forward. And if that isn't a wombo combo for the ages, I don't know what is. Incisors tearing apart the wind turbine fields right here for the yellow commander. Snorkelwhack, who's definitely going to be trying to clean that up as quick as possible, but man, those incisors hurt. And they hurt quite badly. E-converters pop there as well. Finally, that tank goes down. My goodness, tons and tons of damage, all done. Meanwhile, Salamanders, likewise, on the other side of the map. They're very difficult to paralyze here, so the air commander's got his work cut out for him if they want to get some shuriken in the air to try and shut these down, but no shuriken response as of yet. There they go. Starts up the shuriken, but you really need like 10 of these per tank in order to paralyze them. They're seriously that resistant to EMP. It's insane. Incredibly difficult to deal with if you don't already have the shuriken to deal with them. Producing enough of them before the tanks, well, blow up your entire backline is pretty difficult. Warpugs now shut down. There you go. You can see the incisor doing, what is that, 1% per blast? 2% if it's a good blast? It's nothing. It really is nothing. Okay. Cyan units trying to make up the difference right here. A distinct metal advantage right now for the red team, largely because of these T2 mexes here. Looks like the blue commanders will go down here. The powder blue commander went down, and then the green commander went down shortly after. Oh, we have a Tsar that was rushed out. That makes sense. The Tsar tank firing away those ultra-heavy projectiles, lobbing those globules of plasma across the battlefield, smearing waste and wanton destruction across the face here of the blue team. And at least at this particular moment, the green commander in specifics. So much metal going back to the red comm. I love that. Love that teamwork right here to just produce and produce and produce out of this T1 laboratory. It's questionable to go for Salamanders still, though. I feel like at this point it'd be well worth it to transition out of Salamanders, start going into those Tiger tanks, which tend to just, across the board, work out a little bit better. Oh, no radar over here. Oh, no, no radar over here. Where's my button? There it is. Boom goes the laboratory there. The green commander sneaking into the base and launching a D-gun at the production facility there for the yellow commander. Snorkelwhack loses it all as Felms gets into the main base and starts disassembling. D-gun after D-gun, blast after blast, 500 energy careening across the battlefield and ravaging the forces here of the tan and yellow commander. And just like that, this entire southern side has been swept. Suddenly, forces are distributed as defensive tools. We have Salamanders from both orange and red. Seeker and Spooter Friend both moving into the southern side. Eventually, comm goes down. I think this laser tower, yeah, with one kill to its name, but tons of experience, tells me that that must have been the commander. Will eventually kill that comm. Okay. Oh, more incisors are pushing forward. We do have Salamander to respond. Like I said, though, if those Salamander are out of range, then they're not getting that full value. You can see the difference really cleanly here, as one of these Salamander gets a little closer and the other ones are firing away doing, oh, I don't know, maybe 8 or 10% damage, whereas the closer one is nearly a quarter of the damage, if not 33 or so percent. Eventually, either way, Salamanders will clean all of this up as the bases continue to fall for the blue team. We've got ourselves the mother of all yin-yang matches here, with the blue team sweeping in from the southern side and the red team likewise pushing forward from the north. We have the red forces moving in now towards the purple base. We have beamer turrets that were set up, but obviously those T1 static defenses aren't going to do anything against any of those T2 high velocity heavy tanks. Incisors cleaning up the Salamander push right there, but again, that Tsar is going to fire away and do so much damage. The missile trucks are so nice here, too. They provide quite a lot of range. Vision, rather. Man, the Tsar is so dangerous. It is functionally a siege unit against T1 structures because it can outrange most of them, the majority of them. And it does enough damage to, I mean, even be worth using. It's quite dangerous. Thyrexi here with the little grunt atop their head, launching D-guns all over the place. Boom goes the Cyan Commander. Falls quite rapidly here, and the base is in quite a state of disarray here as well. T2 did eventually come up, and it looks like we were rushing into those Banisher tanks. Banishers receiving a slew of buffs recently to make them quite a bit more competitively viable, which is cool to see. I'm always a fan of making the units a little bit more usable. I feel like no unit in Beyond All Reason should be unusable, right? We have so many, we may as well make them all fun to play with. Certainly the Banisher was a little bit undertuned, at least in comparison to some of its counterparts like the Starlight or Sharpshooters, things like that. Nowadays, the Banisher is firmly planted in position here against, well, even in these high-level lobbies, which is always cool. Twin Guards coming up right here. Shuriken's paralyzing everything, though. That Banisher overkilling quite a lot, but that's alright. As a whole bunch of this T1 chaff does start to fall right here. More and more T1 walking in as well. These beamer turrets quite dangerous and deadly. Daintily. That's the word that we came up with on the spot right there. Mexes are falling. Both teams have taken their foot off the gas for just a second. Both teams stepping back here. The reclaim-fueled rampage is slowly sputtering out. Red Commander choking for energy right now. Does start up a fusion reactor. I like to see it. Trying to do anything and everything possible to deny all this reclaim here from going back towards the blue team. Reclaim is how you come back in a game. Orange Com moving up onto the high ground here, trying to capture the last, second to last commander here for the blue team. The Seeker knows it's around here. Oh, there we go. Discovers the commander being chilling on the rocks. D-guns away. Hot Dog escapes. The great escape here as the blue commander tries to walk down that cliff. Can the... Oh. Oh, okay. I thought the commander might have been able to walk down the cliff. Backed into a corner. It's a very difficult place to be because obviously that commander's D-gun only takes one hit to kill these units. And from, like I said, maximum range, these don't do their full damage, so they're quite difficult to kill this with. Still, though, looks like they're able to target down the blue commander here. Whoa. Yeah, running parallel, making it very difficult to deal with. Boom goes the blue commander. Nicely done. One more commander remains. Felms, the last commander here for the blue team. Going to be, well, fairly safely positioned, I would say. The run-by has been basically shut down right now. There are more units ready to push, though. Meanwhile, this base has been under siege for quite some time. Tsar taking some beatings here. Those Banishers, quite good. Good enough, though? Doesn't quite seem like it. Salamanders and Tigers, heavy tanks galore. Keeping all this safe, Banisher does go down, and that's a bummer. Ideally, those Banishers should never die. That's, you know. In an ideal game of Beyond All Reason, in the perfect game of Beyond All Reason, none of your units die, but Banishers and Starlights, Sharpshooters, all these heavy-hitting long-range units are ideally never going to go down. So every time you lose one of those, it stings just a little bit more than, like, you know, a Grunt or a Pawn or any of your assault units that you sort of expect to trade out eventually. Beam retards come up for the base defense here to prevent the run-by from being the death here. Yeah, the Bull Tank will be trying to clean a lot of this up. Bulls are astoundingly good, but that is a lot of metal on the field right there for the Red Commander. Not to mention, of course, the Tsar that is following all this up. This is just the scouting force, effectively. That Bull is trying to clean up the remnants of a force of units right here, whereas the true horror lies in wait as a gigantic beast. But down it goes. Lightning tanks enough to blast off the last of the HP here for the Tsar. Now the Bulls firing away against the Tigers. Cyan Force is moving in as well, but at this point, the red advantage is gigantic. Energy and metal per second is, well, 140% production for metal. Largely, again, in response, or responsible, rather, the T1 and T2 metal extractors. Loads of units continually pushing forward here, though. Yeah, Blue Commander losing it on the southern side as well. Felms calls the resign vote. And as these T1 cons begin to die, as the Salamanders, Brutes, and Sizers, and all other manner of destructive creation come hurtling towards the blue facility here, there's not a lot left in the tank for the blue team. Not enough to reclaim all this. We need a console or something out here reclaiming in order to keep the production high, but then you need to defend, you need to be aggressive, you need to, well, not lose your last commander here. Very easy to lose if it's just, you know, your last commander standing. No radar here either, though, so these units won't see this commander unless they get close enough. Ooh, just barely. They don't see him. Oh my goodness. There we go. They do detect Felms, but he also gets the D-gun off. Doesn't matter, though. Ultimately had to leave these units to run by because, well, you can't risk losing the commander or else you lose the entire game. Nice curve on that Banisher missile right there. But unfortunately, it won't be enough. The red team manages to sweep faster than the blue with an excellent defense sent down from the red and orange forces, and some beautiful plays right there from both of those commander. It'll be Spider Friend, and the Seeker, and the rest of the red team that managed to take the victory. What a game of Beyond All Reason. Action-packed through and through. for a whole 19 minutes of delight. I sure hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, feel free to like and subscribe and join the Brightworks community via the link to the Discord down below in the description as always. And I hope to see you again in the very next match of Beyond Our Reason. Peace out, everybody.